You step outside early in the morning, maybe to water your plants or sip your first coffee of the day. The air is calm, birds are singing, and everything feels peaceful. Then something shifts near the ground. At first it looks like a stick. Then it moves. Smooth, silent, sliding across the soil. A snake. In an instant, your quiet garden no longer feels safe. But here's the part most people don't realize. In many cases, the snake didn't randomly wander in. Your garden invited it. Certain plants create exactly what snakes are looking for: shade, moisture, protection, and a steady food supply from insects and rodents. Without realizing it, your landscaping can turn into the perfect refuge. Today, we're breaking down 7 plants you should avoid if you want to keep snakes away. This isn't about panic. It's about smart, preventative gardening. When you understand what snakes are drawn to, you can remove the attraction before problems ever appear. Let's begin. 1. Tall ornamentals and decorative grasses. Tall ornamental grasses are often chosen for their beauty. They sway in the breeze, soften harsh edges, and give gardens a natural, flowing look. To us, they're elegant and calming. To snakes, they're something else entirely. They are the perfect hiding system. These grasses don't just grow tall, they grow thick. At ground level, their bases are tightly packed, layered, and shadowed, creating a maze of cover that is nearly impossible to see into. This is exactly the type of environment snakes are built to exploit. Common examples include pampas grass, fountain grass, maiden grass, switchgrass, miscanthus, and zebra grass. While each looks different above ground, below they all share one thing: dense, tunnel-like growth that creates a hidden world beneath. Why snakes are drawn to tall grasses? The soil beneath these plants stays cool even in intense heat. Snakes are cold-blooded and actively seek temperature-stable areas to avoid overheating. Moisture is trapped under the blades. Dew, humidity, and irrigation linger, creating damp conditions snakes rely on to prevent dehydration. The density provides total concealment. A snake can move freely without ever being seen, even if it's large. Rodents love these spaces too. Mice and voles burrow under thick grasses, and snakes will always follow their food source. From a snake's perspective, tall grasses act like covered roadways, allowing them to travel across your yard unseen and undisturbed. One clump of ornamental grass can hide more than one snake at the same time. Many homeowners only realize this when they attempt to trim or divide the plant, or when they hear unexpected movement deep inside. Safer alternatives include low-growing flowers, compact shrubs with open bases, gravel or stone landscaping, mulched beds with clear sightlines, and well-spaced perennials. Anything that allows light and visibility at ground level is far less attractive to snakes. 2. Low, dense shrubs. Shrubs such as boxwood, privet, juniper, yew, and cottoneaster may appear neat and structured, but to snakes they are secure, climate-controlled shelters. These plants don't just provide cover, they provide long-term housing. Dense shrubs create deep shade that blocks sunlight completely. Beneath them, the ground remains dark, cool, and undisturbed. Exactly what snakes prefer during daylight hours. Moisture collects easily under thick foliage, especially after rain or watering, forming humid pockets that snakes actively seek out. The layered branches act like insulation, protecting snakes from heat, cold, and sudden weather changes. Rodents frequently nest under shrubs, using the protection to stay hidden. Snakes simply follow the prey. Insects also thrive in these shaded, damp zones, adding another food source that keeps snakes coming back. Snakes often remain hidden beneath shrubs during the day and emerge at dusk or nighttime to hunt. Because airflow and light are restricted, they can stay concealed for hours without detection. This creates a real risk for gardeners. Dense shrubs form blind zones, areas you cannot see into, even when standing close. Many people describe the same frightening experience: reaching in to trim or shape a shrub, disturbing a branch, and suddenly a snake slips out from underneath. It's fast, quiet, and incredibly common. The thicker and lower the shrub, the safer a snake feels. And the safer it feels, the more likely it is to stay. Better options include plants with open structure and airflow such as lavender, rosemary, salvia, spirea, and ornamental sage. These allow light to reach the ground, maintain visibility, and often carry scents that snakes avoid. Air, light, and visibility are the enemies of snakes. Any plant that removes those elements increases your risk, even if it looks beautiful. 3. Ivy and creeping ground covers. If there's one category of plants that practically rolls out the welcome mat for snakes, it's ground covers. These low-growing plants spread into thick, continuous mats that blanket the soil. And in doing so, they create the most snake-friendly environment possible. Plants such as English ivy, periwinkle, vinca, creeping jenny, sweet potato vine, pachycandra, ajuga, lamium, and ground ivy all share the same habits. They grow quickly, hug the ground tightly, and spread with little effort. To a snake, this isn't just vegetation, it's its prime real estate. Beneath that lush green carpet lies everything a snake needs to feel safe and stay long-term. The leaves block sunlight almost completely, keeping the ground cool even during extreme heat. Moisture gets trapped underneath, creating a damp, skin-friendly environment. The stems and runners form natural tunnels where snakes can move without being seen. Insects and rodents thrive there, providing an easy and constant food source. Predators like birds, cats, and dogs can't see through the dense cover. What looks neat and ornamental to us feels like a luxury underground complex to snakes. One of the biggest issues with ground covers is how fast they spread. What starts as a small patch along a fence or behind a shed can quickly expand into a yard-wide network of hidden pathways. Before you realize it, snakes can move across your property without ever exposing themselves. Even more dangerous is visibility, or rather, the lack of it. Ground covers make it almost impossible to spot a snake until you're already standing on top of it. Many people only become aware of the problem when trimming edges, pulling vines, or stepping into the bed and seeing sudden movement beneath the leaves. Safer alternatives focus on keeping the soil visible and open. Better choices include widely spaced perennials, decorative stone or gravel, rock gardens, herb borders, bare soil accents, and open pathways. These layouts remove hiding places and make your garden far less appealing to snakes. 4. Thick mulch beds and wood-hugging plants. This next problem surprises many homeowners because it's not just about the plants. It's about what's underneath them. Thick mulch, decaying wood, and damp organic layers create exactly the kind of shelter snakes actively seek out. Heavy mulch, especially bark-based mulch, forms cool air pockets, retains moisture, and creates dark, soft tunnels beneath the surface. For snakes, this is ideal terrain. When you pair thick mulch with plants like hostas, hydrangeas, ferns, coral bells, astilbe, shade perennials, or low-growing bushes, you're unintentionally constructing a hidden refuge, a place where snakes can rest, hunt, and remain undisturbed for hours. The risk increases dramatically when mulch beds are combined with stacks of firewood, old boards or lumber, rotting logs, compost piles, leaf heaps, branches, or stick piles, tree stumps wet, fallen bark. These materials attract insects and rodents, and snakes always follow their food. Wood piles in particular act like ready-made shelters, offering warmth, moisture, and protection all in one place. Most people don't realize what they've created until they move a log, lift a piece of bark, or disturb a pile. And something suddenly slides away. Snakes typically hide beneath mulch and wood during the day, when it's hot and busy, then emerge at night when temperatures drop and the yard is quiet. Safer landscaping alternatives include pea gravel, crushed granite, river stones, lava rock, and decorative gravel. These materials dry quickly, don't trap moisture, and make movement uncomfortable for snakes. Sharp, shifting surfaces are something snakes actively avoid. A simple gravel border around garden beds can act as a natural deterrent, not because it kills snakes, but because it makes your yard an inconvenient place for them to stay. In snake prevention, visibility, dryness, and unstable footing are your strongest allies. 5. Water-loving plants and pond edge vegetation. Water features bring calm and beauty to a garden. The soft sound of moving water, the shimmer of sunlight on the surface, and the feeling of nature close by can be incredibly relaxing. But beneath that peaceful scene lies an important reality. Water attracts life, and where life gathers, snakes often follow. Ponds, fountains, and damp garden zones naturally draw frogs, insects, small fish, and rodents. These creatures are a primary food source for snakes. Add the right plants, and you've unintentionally created an ideal snake habitat. Plants that thrive in wet or waterlogged soil tend to grow large, dense, and leafy. Along pond edges or in consistently damp areas, they form cool, shaded pockets where snakes can hide comfortably for long periods. Common examples include elephant ears, cattails, reeds, cannas, taro, water hyacinth, and water lilies. To a gardener, these plants look lush and tropical. To a snake, they function as cover, shelter, and hunting ground all at once. Broad leaves act like umbrellas, blocking sunlight and keeping the ground beneath cool and moist even during extreme heat. Snakes can rest there unseen, strike at passing prey, and slip into the water instantly if disturbed. The edges of ponds and fountains are especially attractive. Water provides hydration, while frogs and insects supply constant food. These areas often stay warmer in cooler months as well, allowing snakes in mild climates to survive longer than in dry, exposed ground. If you want the calming presence of water without increasing snake activity, choose plants that prefer drier conditions around these features. Good alternatives include sedum, daylilies, Russian sage, echinacea, and black-eyed Susans. These plants don't create heavy shade or damp soil pockets, keeping the area far less appealing to snakes while still looking beautiful. 6. Fruit-producing plants and berry bushes. This is one of the most underestimated ways snakes end up in a yard. While many people worry about dense foliage or mulch, fruiting plants often go unnoticed, yet they play a major role in attracting snakes indirectly. Fruit trees, berry bushes, and vines draw rodents. Fallen fruit, seeds, and berries become an easy food source for mice, rats, voles, squirrels, and birds. Once these animals appear, snakes are rarely far behind. Plants that commonly trigger this chain reaction include blueberry, raspberry, and blackberry bushes, mulberry trees, grapevines, fig trees, and fruit trees that drop apples, pears, or peaches. The problem grows worse when fruit falls and is left on the ground, creating a steady buffet for rodents. Many fruit trees also form dense canopies. Beneath them, the ground stays shaded, cool, and protected. The perfect daytime resting spot for snakes. With food above and shelter below, these areas become extremely attractive. You don't necessarily need to remove fruit-producing plants, but management is critical. Keep branches and bushes pruned so light reaches the ground. Remove fallen fruit promptly. Avoid thick ground cover near trunks. Maintain open, airy spacing so predators can see the area clearly. When fruiting plants are kept clean and well-maintained, they lose much of their appeal to rodents. And without rodents, snakes are far less likely to stay. Smart gardening isn't about fear. It's about understanding how plants shape the environment and choosing layouts that invite beauty, not hidden danger. 7. Hostas, the ultimate snake attractor. The ultimate. Hostas are a favorite in shade gardens for a reason. Their large sculptural leaves, rich textures, and ability to thrive in low light make them incredibly appealing to gardeners. They're low effort, fast-growing, and instantly make a space look lush. Unfortunately, that same lushness makes them one of the most inviting plants for snakes. Hostas create exactly the kind of environment snakes seek out. Their oversized leaves spread wide and low, forming deep shade directly at ground level. Under that leafy canopy, the soil stays cool, dark, and consistently damp, even during the hottest parts of summer. For a cold-blooded animal, this stable microclimate is ideal. The dense foliage also shelters slugs, beetles, and other insects. Where insects gather, small prey animals follow, and snakes are never far behind. On top of that, the underside of hosta leaves is completely hidden from view, giving snakes protection from predators and from human eyes. Once settled, they can remain undisturbed for long periods. Because hostas grow thick and low, they also provide perfect nesting and resting spots. A single mature plant can serve as a daytime refuge where a snake can hide, regulate its body temperature, and wait for prey to pass by. Many gardeners only realize there's a problem when they go to divide or move a hosta, and something suddenly slips out from beneath the leaves. What makes hostas especially risky is their ability to hold moisture. The leaves act like umbrellas, preventing sun and air from drying the soil. That constant cool dampness is one of the strongest attractors for snakes anywhere in the garden. If you love foliage plants but want a safer yard, choose alternatives with a more open growth habit. Daylilies, dianthus, gaillardia, coral bells, heuchera, and coneflowers all provide texture and beauty without forming dark, ground-hugging shelters. These plants allow airflow, dry quickly after rain, and keep the soil visible, conditions snakes strongly avoid. When it comes to snake-smart gardening, visibility, airflow, and dryness matter more than beauty alone. By replacing dense shade plants like hostas with more open alternatives, you can enjoy a beautiful garden without unintentionally inviting unwanted visitors.